Welcome back to Fox Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the movie Righteous Ties, released in the year 2006. Dong Chi-sung is a gangster working for a business mogul, Young-hee. On his boss's order, he goes to a professor named Choi to assassinate him. The man cries for his life while Chi-sung hands him a knife asking him to do the task by himself. All of a sudden, the siren of police vehicles is heard. Choi's demeanor changes and he begins to threaten the gangsters he was begging some seconds ago. Some of the men go out to check if they are really about to be caught, but see that a fire truck is passing by. When informed, Choi quietly looks down. Having had enough of him, Chi-sung attacks the man with the knife. Somehow in the encounter, Chi-sung and his henchmen are caught, while Choi ends up in a hospital with severe injuries. Following that, a prosecutor interviews Chi-sung, urging him to reveal who sent him to assassinate the man. Everyone knows that it was his boss, Young-hee, but Chi-sung refuses to admit his involvement in the attempted murder. The prosecutor threatens to throw him in prison for 20 years, considering he has been arrested for 4 previous convictions, but Chi-sung doesn't utter a word about his boss. At last, he is offered a deal. His punishment will be reduced to 5 years if he cooperates with the police. Still, Chi-sung stays quiet. Eventually, after a hearing, he is sentenced to prison for 7 years. His boss, Young-hee, is impressed at his loyalty, but now that he is in custody, Chi-sung is a burden for him. While being brought into the prison, Chi-sung hears someone whistle and instantly recognizes it as his old associate, Sun-tan. He sets free from the guards and runs to the floor the noise is coming from. Chi-sung is shocked and happy at the fact that Sun-tan is still alive, since he had gotten the death penalty some years ago. During break time, the old friends talk about different things. Sun-tan inquires about his father and finds out he died last year. Chi-sung apologizes for not helping Sun-tan with the death penalty. During the lunch break, the inmates who are in the same cell as Chi-sung introduce themselves to him. A rowdy inmate bullies everyone at the table. He and his gang beat up anyone who they don't like and are on the top of the food chain among the inmates. Somewhere else, Chi-sung's boss Young-hee goes to meet an injured Choi. He seems to be interested in doing business with the man, so he proposes a deal. However, the man is enraged at Chi-sung for humiliating him and wants to take revenge at any cost. He asks Young-hee to kill Chi-sung in turn for them to make a deal. Young-hee considers the matter and decides that he will in fact kill his loyal former right-hand man for the benefit of the company. Chiung is Chi-sung's best friend and a fellow gang member. He feels bad that Chi-sung was arrested and wants his girlfriend Yang Yo-il to visit him in the prison. However, the girl doesn't want to talk to Chi-sung. Young-hee comes to visit Chi-sung in the prison to express gratitude for his loyalty. He falsely claims that he is trying his best to get him out. Chi-sung is happy that his boss visited him, but little does he know he is planning to kill him for a deal. He also informs his boss about Sun-tan still being alive. The man is not delighted to hear the information because he and Sun-tan are not on good terms. Following his meeting with Yo-il, Chiung visits Chi-sung's parents' home to tell them about his imprisonment. The parents are not surprised, considering their son was always doing illegal things. Chiung looks at an old picture of him, Chi-sung, and Sun-tan. The three used to be inseparable in childhood. Back in the prison, after the guards complete the first round, Chi-sung's cellmates get up and show him a secret tunnel they have been digging. They are planning to run away after completing it. In another cell, the gang of bullies beats up an innocent inmate named Moon-soo. The next day at breakfast, the poor guy is covered in bruises and is crying. Chi-sung feels bad for him, so he beats up the bully and his group, surprising everyone. However, as a result, he is put in solitary confinement. Chiung comes to meet him the next day, but he cannot because the inmates in solitary confinement do not have the privilege to talk to outsiders. Somewhere else, Professor Choi takes Young-hee to a factory. He is extracting a serum from a specific Japanese plant that can kill anyone instantly with just a whiff. Only Choi has the antidote to it. He is ready to sell the serum to Young-hee when he completes his end of the deal, that is to kill Chi-sung. That night, some men invade Chi-sung's parents' home and beat them brutally. The following day, one of Young-hee's people goes to meet Moon-soo and asks him to kill Chi-sung for money. Moon-soo feels indebted to Chi-sung, so he is in a dilemma. Somewhere else, Young-hee's rival gangster, Bong-sik, comes to visit him. He was handicapped after being stabbed on his leg 7 times by Chi-sung. To claim his revenge, he was the one who sent those men to beat up Chi-sung's parents. When Joo-jung finds out about this, he quickly runs to their house and rescues them. They are severely injured and admitted to a hospital. Back in the prison, Yo-il comes to visit Chi-sung and informs him of the attack on his parents. He is devastated and enraged with emotions. Later that day, Moon-soo stabs him, choosing to side with Young-hee. Chi-sung doesn't put up a fight and simply asks him to run away. The next day, he is rushed to the hospital. Soon-tan loses his temper and tells the inmates that he will kill the one who stabbed his friend at any cost. Joo-jung finds out that it was his boss who wanted to kill his best friend. He retaliates against his decision, but is told that Chi-sung's death is good for the company. Following that, he goes to meet Chi-sung in the hospital. He has gained consciousness and is doing fine. He is also told about the boss's decision to kill him. He is disappointed but not shocked since he always knew Young-hee could stab anyone in the back for his own good. Joo-jung returns and tells his boss that Chi-sung is still unconscious in hopes of keeping his friend safe. Young-hee senses that he is furious at the fact that he hid their plan to kill Chi-sung from him. That night, Chi-sung returns to the prison and everyone celebrates. Starting the next day, Chi-sung and his cellmates begin planning an elaborate escape. They talk to their associates from outside in coded language and decide to execute the plan one night. They crawl through the vents and manage to get to the sewer system. However, soon they come across 2 paths, one of which leads to the army base and the other one to an airway base. Unsure which path they should take, they return to the cell. Starting the next day, they continue digging the tunnel underground. After a lot of hard work, it is announced that they are being shifted to the upper floor of the penitentiary for a renovation. After their hard work goes to waste, they decide to run away up front by destroying the wall that surrounds the prison. Since it is old and built without pillars, they believe if all the inmates push it at once, it will break down. During their next break, they try the method, but only get hurt. Still, every day, Chi-sung and his group try to break it. The guards and the policemen think it is fruitless, so they just laugh at them. Soon, the wall starts to crack. Somewhere else, Joo-jung and his fellow gang members are in the countryside learning to fire a rifle. Joo-jung fires a bullet to the sky that accidentally hits a fighter jet flying overhead. The bullet causes severe malfunctions to the jet, which coincidentally crashes right outside the penitentiary. All the inmates go silent as the wall slowly cracks and breaks from the impact. Taking the opportunity, Chi-sung and his friends bolt outside. The other prisoners follow their lead, and soon chaos ensues in the prison. At the end of it, over half of the prisoners manage to escape. The news makes the national television, and the gang gets to know that Chi-sung has also escaped. He and 4 of his friends manage to not get caught, but one member of their group gets caught and reveals that it had been their plan all along. In the meantime, the group runs inside a photo studio to hide from the police. When a woman sees them, they reluctantly have to hold her hostage. They steal clothes from a nearby dry cleaner and change into them. Eventually, the police find all the escapees and only the 5 of them are left. They watch the news and see that the member who was caught has told the police that their gang's name is Love and Friendship. They make the hostage cook for them, and she serves them like they are her house guests. A while later, Yo Lee arrives there with phones and money for everyone. Chi-sung brings her outside and tells her that she should forget him now. The two wish each other goodbye and separate. Following that, the group discusses what they should do next since they are being searched for everywhere. Chi-sung wants to avenge the men who attacked his parents, and the group decides to join him. They go to Bong-sik's hideout and beat his men up. Somewhere else, Choi finds out that Chi-sung is still alive. He had already set the deal with Young-hee because he was told Chi-sung had died. He refuses to continue doing business with them and walks out. However, Zhu-jung stops him and beats him up for wanting to kill his friend. Meanwhile, Chi-sung finds Bong-shik and stabs him several times in the other leg, taking revenge for his parents' suffering. His boss Young-hee plans to flee from the city, scared that he will be Chi-sung's next target. When Chi-sung goes looking for Young-hee, he is stopped by Zhu-jung, who claims he will save Young-hee at all costs because he is loyal. He is joined by several men who are eager to beat Chi-sung up. Zhu-jung stops all of them and fights one-on-one with his childhood friend. Chi-sung easily beats him up and asks him to stay aside when he fights with others because he still doesn't want him to get hurt. Following that, he is joined by Sun-tan and the others of his group. They fight against the henchmen. Chi-sung notices his former boss Young-hee getting in a car and driving away. He gets in a car to follow him but is stopped by Zhu-jung yet again. He asks Zhu-jung to step away from the road, but he doesn't. With no way out, Chi-sung drives toward him at full speed. When he is about to hit him, Zhu-jung puts his gun down, revealing he never planned to kill his friend. Chi-sung accidentally crashes onto him. Moments later, he puts Zhu-jung in the car and drives him to the hospital. In the meantime, his teammates are arrested by the police again. He is also chased by an array of police cars and eventually has to stop. At the same junction, Young-hee also comes to a halt. Chi-sung gets out of the car and asks Young-hee if his business was really more important than his loyal friend. With several policemen pointing their guns at him, he makes his way to Young-hee's car with a knife. However, he freezes in shock when Zhu-jung shoots Young-hee dead from behind him. Seconds later, he is also shot by the police. The movie ends as Chi-sung holds his dying friend in his arms and reminisces about their childhood. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.